This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. The main point of the argument is that philosophical approaches to business ethics provide guidelines for making ethical business decisions, but some of these approaches are controversial and have no support from most moral scholars. The philosophical approaches to ethics are deontology, consequentialism, and virtue ethics. They help business people to make ethical decisions. Business people may also consider personal ethics, organizational policies, and legal provisions alongside the philosophical approaches to ethics as they make ethical decisions. The straw man approach to business ethics consists of Friedman's doctrine, the righteous moralist, cultural relativism, and naive moralist. Managers do not carefully evaluate these ideas, but they use them to find solutions. The utilitarian approach to ethics posits that the utmost benefits can only come from morally right decisions regardless of the method used, like coercion, manipulation, or lies. Kantian approach to ethics values the importance of people who should only be ends and not merely as means to the ends. The essay covers the main points of the straw man's approaches to business ethics and their different concepts. The straw man approach. In business, people want to attribute weak points to opposing views. The aim of the straw man is to present weak points in an argument, which the opponent can easily contest and portray the opponent's whole concept as disapproved. The Friedman doctrine asserts that a business should only have one social responsibility of making profits by using its resources legally in an open and free manner without perpetuating fraud or sham. Hence, the social responsibility of any business entity should be to proceed without violation of the law. According to this view, any business should not take any responsibility beyond those covered by the law. Social responsibility and business ethics have similar meanings to scholars who consider them tantamount to ethical behaviors. However, some scholars have claimed that this concept does not support business ethics. Scholars have also focused on cultural relativism under the straw man and business ethics. Cultural relativism claims that ethics is simply a reflection of a given culture. In other words, it is culture that determines all aspects of ethics. Therefore, a company should only apply or adopt the concept of ethics within its culture. Cultural relativism also shows that there is no more advanced culture than other cultures when considered with regard to politics, laws, and morality, among others. All cultures are valid, and not the truth is a relative concept. However, this depends on a specific cultural environment. Another straw man approach includes righteous relativism. Home countries of multinational firms have the most suitable ethics for other countries in which they operate. Business managers in emerging countries tend to adopt business practices from the parent countries of firms when making ethical business decisions. Finally, a naive immoralist claims that a manager of a multinational firm in a foreign country should only do what other managers of multinational firms do in their host countries, i.e., if other managers do not adhere to ethical practices in foreign countries, then other managers should not adhere to them too. However, this argument does not provide sufficient support because everyone is doing it is not a strong argument for ethical issues. Conclusion. The essay covers philosophical approaches and ethical decision-making approaches for business managers in the areas in which they operate. While some of these approaches provide the best guidelines, others have led managers to make inappropriate decisions for their firms and stakeholders. Overall, there are some concepts of philosophical approaches to business ethics that are controversial and do not gain support from many moral scholars. This essay on the philosophical approaches to ethics was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for.